Just standing and watching the scenes as they unfold. And those are ambulances just rushing through this Parliament Road across. I think those are the ambulances that are going to actually carry the bodies of those that have unfortunately lost their lives in this particular events this afternoon. But yes, we are outside Parliament. I can report to you that protesters from the Occupy Parliament protest against the Finance Bill 2024 have managed to access Parliament, the Parliament compound, and a few moments ago we witnessed them bring down the national flag in Parliament, and staff from inside Parliament, workers, were actually just staring as the scenes unfold, even as police officers promote, we believe our special forces fired rounds of ammunition to try and disperse, but they were targeted at protesters, and unfortunately a number of them have lost their lives. We also saw a protester's body was brought to Parliament, where members of Parliament had gathered outside. And from a distance, we can only show you that picture from a distance. That is a protester being carried by fellow protesters from the gates of Parliament into an ambulance that is waiting by. He has been draped in the very flag that was brought down from the poles of Parliament, the flags that have been hoisted outside Parliament. That is one of those flags, and the deceased is now draped in that particular flag. Protesters escorting their fallen comrade outside of this Parliament vicinity, and towards now that police lorry, an altercation there, a protester.
Ladies and gentlemen, protesters have entered Parliament. They have brought down the flag. They have entered inside Parliament. And now they have managed to achieve, to occupy Parliament. They have done it. Police have retreated. Special forces have gunned some protesters. They are martyrs from all angles. And I want you to observe a minute of silence for the foreign martyrs. Ladies and gentlemen, the day is here. History is being made. Abuse is all over. Parliament Road, not passable. Nakuru, on fire. Eldoret, everywhere. Thika. On the other hand, wabunge wamepitisha mswada, wamepitisha, and immediately they passed that bill. That is when people became wild. That is when people became more motivated. I think William Samoei Ruto need to resign. For the sake of this nation, William Samoei Ruto should resign. A time comes when the interests of this nation must stand before that of the president. People are so powerful that they must understand, that the powers that be must understand that all power belongs to the people. I told you, it will be a Black Tuesday. It is coming out to pass. Whatever I've been saying all the time, if you've been listening to me, everything shall come to pass. And it shall come to pass.
Really struggling to try and maintain some sort of law and order, some sort of buffer between the protesters and the politicians who are holed up inside Parliament. Just remember that a few hours ago, members of Parliament did pass the finance bill on the committee stage, really getting the final stages of that finance bill. That has been the trigger, the catalyst that has gotten Kenyans riled up and Kenyans on the street.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible. Hashtag Occupy Parliament. That indeed has been achieved. The police have clearly been overwhelmed and you could say overthrown as they seem to have exited the scene, at least from what we witnessed from here. But our reporters on the ground are actually saying that whilst protesters have been repulsed, because at one point they are approaching Parliament again. And it is also being reported that some members of Parliament have escaped to Bunge Towers through an underground channel. We will get more information on that when we can. And also we are aware that part of Parliament has been set alight.
Ladies and gentlemen, some members of Parliament, as you can hear, have escaped underground tunnel, through underground tunnel. They have run away from Parliament. The policemen have been overpowered. A people united shall never be defeated. Once we lose our fear, they lose their power. Objective achieved. Objective achieved. There's no way you can pass a bill where Kenyans have rejected. There is no way we can put you to Parliament and we tell you we don't want you to pass this bill, and then you go ahead and pass the bill, even if you kill all of us. People are ready to die. How mmepiga risasi nimwambia, for every foreign hero people become bolder. Mwe moja ni sawa tu, mwe wawili ni sawa tu. You have shot people, you have sent special forces. But I'm telling you, William Samuel Ruto need to resign. He need to resign like yesterday. He has failed. And we must agree that he has failed. I told you, there's no way you can have members of Parliament urinating on outside our houses. There's no way you can have these guys wakiuliza ati tutakula nini, nao wanauliza tutakula lini, tutakula nini. Hao ndio wanaulizana hivyo, na Wakenya wanauliza tutakula lini. You cannot have leaders eating chicken while the citizens are eating like chicken. Nyinyi mkule kuku, sisi tukule kama kuku. Hapana, hapana. The will of the people is the will of God.
Are still making their way around town. They are still walking around, but as Melita has informed us that protesters are sort of disinterested with inside Parliament and sort of coming outside Parliament, having that goal being finally achieved.
Yeah, and really interesting scenes from literally a few minutes ago when there was absolute chaos outside Parliament. Protesters versus the police, tear gas rented the air, live bullets as well, protesters climbing over the fence, and now what we're seeing is a bit of a contrast. As you say, it looks almost somewhat peaceful because what we're seeing are people actually walking at a slower pace.
Right.
We are seeing the police as well on the left of the screen, and
we have seen vehicles taking the newly built tunnel that connects Parliament to the new Bunge Towers that is adjacent across. Some of the members of Parliament who tried to cross the road met,
Ladies and gentlemen, a section of Parliament is on fire, literally burning. I told you to go the Burkina Faso way. When the people of Burkina Faso were mistreated by their raiders, they raised Parliament. Walichoma bunge, the president had run away. And the funny thing with William Samuel Ruto, he's not addressing the nation. You see, the country is burning. Parliament is burning. Everybody's on the street. And mko pale, mnaona tu kama ni mambo ya kawaida.
Sir, if you can hear me, where in Parliament are you and what are you able to tell us? Seth Olale, can you hear me? Where are you within Parliament and what can you tell us? Sorry, it appears we cannot
we will continue to attempt to reach him. But earlier we had Stephen Leto tell us that protesters did indeed breach Parliament precincts. And Seth Olale, can you hear me now? Seth Olale, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Go ahead, Seth Olale. What can you tell us? Where are you within Parliament?
With over 60 members of Parliament who are basement 2 and basement 1 of Parliament buildings, the main building that hosts the main chambers of the National Assembly and the Senate. Among those where I am include the leader of minority
I can see a police truck burning. Don't joke with the power of the masses. Never underrate Kenyans. Never ever. Never look at Kenyans with contempt. I want to thank those people who have put a lot of pressure on this government. Because today, the government knows that Kenyans can talk. I want to thank those people who supported Gen Z. Because from all angles, this is a very, very successful moment. History is being written. Today, history is being written.
The number of police officers who are attempting just to come to rescue members of Parliament, we are still trapped here at basement 2 and basement 1. Following this particular place, we're being told that a section of Parliament building is already on fire. I'm yet to confirm, but according to a security officer who's just come to join us right now where we are at basement 2, he says that he can confirm that a section of buildings, basic Parliament buildings, have actually been set on fire. Right now we can see an ambulance that is now coming, and right now we can see that is the speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, being evacuated in an ambulance under heavy security.
That was Seth Olale speaking to us from Parliament precincts. He is in the basement, and that explains the quality of the connection. But he did say he was in the company of members of Parliament who had been evacuated on account of fears for their safety. He did say he had received reports that
saying that he's not only proud of the young people, and he said he's ready and willing to listen and have an engagement of sort. And we saw that, with the leadership on his side of politics and side of government, taking that same route. So it will be interesting to find out what happens after they've seen today that their talking points from Sunday and Monday have not managed to remove the sting from the protesters. They still feel that more needs to be done, to be removed from the finance bill. Every law-making process is, in fact, a political process and a negotiated process. So nothing really is off the table, if you like. The president still can refuse to accept this into law. Two schools of thought for saying this is a money bill, and the president essentially is bound by it, that he can essentially just has to sign it when it comes in front of him. That's one school of thought. There's another school of thought to suggest that this is a political process, and the president...
We're now joined by Emmanuel To. You are outside Parliament. Has the situation calmed down? What are you witnessing?
Well, thank you very much. We are along Parliament Road, where the police are just engaging some of these protesters, and there are two bodies that are still lying on this Parliament Road within the CBD, just outside Parliament, and the ambulances from Red Cross and others have been pushing some along City Hallway, and it seems the police have shot a few protesters who are here. Have counted at least 3 as I was walking towards this part of Parliament. And the demonstrators have also torched some of the vehicles that were being used by the police, and some of the water cannons were being used to put out some of